Noticing the unnoticed. Is there anything that you think you do not notice? Are you paying the right attention to everything and anything that you see? Let's say you're looking at something or someone every day or frequently, but you do not pay attention to it or him or her because maybe somewhere in your mind you have registered the thought that you will not be able to do anything about it. So, is there a reason for you to notice something and unnotice something? Have you got my point already? Now, let me take you to one strange situation. Let's say that you're looking at a beggar every day. You know it's a beggar. You have helped him or her with what he or she wants by giving him or her what was not required for you at any time. Now, do you think about the beggar when you go to sleep? Does his or her condition bother you or affect your work in any way? Now, imagine thinking of the beggar before going to sleep. Can you do that? Can you imagine that? No, you do not think of the beggar then. You notice him or her only when you look at him or her. And you walk away because you know that you will not be able to improve the situation of the beggar. So there's a reason why you notice something and you unnotice something, right? Now, can you imagine thinking of the beggar before going to sleep? What if you pay attention to him or her before you go to sleep? Now, the same analogy applies to the people or processes around you. Are you paying enough attention to what is happening around you? Are you paying enough attention to your own self? Are you noticing your own self? To what is happening within your body organs? To what is happening to your liver? What is happening to your kidney? What is happening to your heart? Normally, one will pay attention to problems only when the symptoms show up, like when the heart rate increases or decreases. What would you do when you're palpitating, when you're excessively sweating, when you encounter breathlessness? Now, is there a right way to improve what is happening inside us and outside us? Now, let me take you back to the analogy of the beggar situation. This is going to be a very weird exercise. Are you ready for it? Try thinking of the beggar just before going to bed. This is the most unimaginable situation, right? Now, why am I telling you to do this? When you get connected to an extreme situation, even the impossible becomes possible. Try thinking of the beggar just before going to sleep. It's a very challenging situation, right? I know. To think of a beggar before going to sleep. Very funny as well, right? Ridiculous. Why would you do that? Why would you spend your time, energy, and effort on thinking of a beggar? Why would you do that? Why would you spend your time, energy, and effort on thinking of a beggar? Can you visualize his or her condition of living, the clothes that are worn, the people around this person, the place where he or she is living? Just walk over it mentally once and go off to sleep. When you keep practicing, when you keep doing this for a few days, what will happen? Either your mind will only think of this beggar for some more time before going to sleep, or just ignore it as you doze off. Such a brain activity works fundamentally with your thoughts and patterns. This is how the brain works. It will think of something for little time or it will completely ignore it. It depends on what you're thinking, how much you're thinking, for how long you're thinking, with what intensity you're thinking, with what intent you're thinking, with what motive you're thinking, with what purpose you're thinking. Now, what can happen from such a weird brain activity? Because your mind has reflected on a beggar, the next time you look at a beggar, your thoughts will be different about him or her. Now that you have conditioned your mind to look at the living conditions of the beggar, your mind has already gone through the living conditions of the beggar, right? So once you see the beggar, your mind will start thinking over improving his or her living conditions. Given that you had not liked that condition, you felt that it could have been better. If you had felt in that way, if you had felt positive, the next time you see similar kind of a situation, your mind will automatically start sending signals, sending you messages, sending you thoughts, ideas on how to improve the condition, improve the situation, right? And you may even end up praying for the situation to improve. Now, that is how the mind works, and that is the importance of paying attention. The same mechanism works for the person next to you. It could be your mother, it could be your father, it could be your son, your daughter, your husband, your wife, your boss, your subordinate, your trainee, or even your friend to whom you have not been paying attention to. Have you forgotten the neighbor? Maybe recently or over a long time for whatever reason. The same mechanism can change the negative situations you are already in. How does the principle of noticing the unnoticed work? Now, would you like to know more about how this really works, how this mechanism works, so that you can improve the situation? May not be the beggars, but your situation. If you improve your situation, you could improve the other person's situation, right? Would you be interested to know about the mechanism? How does the principle of noticing the unnoticed work? When you focus your thoughts towards something that you want, when you pay attention to something that you want consciously, the mind starts focusing on it subconsciously. As a result, the energy gets directed towards it. Your thought energy gets directed towards it. Things start moving towards that goal. So when you have a goal in life, when you want to improve something in life, or you want to be connected to someone in life, start paying attention to it. Pay attention to it before going to sleep. Think of it, reflect upon it once before going to sleep. Your mind will start working wonders. Your mind will start making the path for you to achieve your goal, even when the situation is not right. When you find that things are not going well, when you're too anxious about everything, when you're too stressed out about everything, start paying attention to your own self. Think of your own self before going to sleep. Paying attention to yourself, valuing yourself, and all the things that is disturbing you will give you more clarity about your situation. Do this when any situation is uncontrollable for you, unavoidable for you. Because of the mental focus that you're giving towards it, because of the attention that you're giving towards it, things will start working in your favor in the way that works for you. Let me take another analogy now. Let us imagine that something has gone wrong with the software in your computer. What does a computer engineer do? He tries to figure out what went wrong with the system. He gets into the settings and tries to troubleshoot the settings so that the balance is restored in the system and the computer starts to work again. So by paying attention to the system settings, the engineer is able to fix the computer. So pay attention to what has gone wrong. You need to find out what went wrong. Find the reason for that. Backtrack systematically but cautiously. You need to be careful in that process, because what you're experiencing now is due to something that had happened before. The reason is, the cause is before, in the past, and you're in the present, and you're trying to focus on the future. So this journey, this process should be done very carefully. Any misalignment can cause any kind of an issue. So focus your thoughts the right way, because it will make a better place for yourself and for the people around you. That is the power of your thought energy. If you find your situation relatable to this, then I'm sure you'll want to know more about this thought energy, which is part of your inner energy. And I talk more about inner energy, the various energies that are within us, which are working within us, which are functioning within us, and we are just unaware of it. And if we can enhance the performance of each of these inner energies, then you will end up being 24 bar 7 energetic. And that requires intelligence, that requires consciousness. And I exactly talk about this inner energy intelligence in my webinar, and in my boot camp, in my challenge, and in my program. So if any of this sounds interesting to you, we have to start with the inner energy identification, which is done through the webinar. So you can log on and register yourself for the inner energy webinar, and you will receive the details and the update when it's happening the next time. So if you found this message useful, please subscribe to the channel and press the notification button. Please do like and share it so that many more people can understand the power of the thought energy, the power of noticing the unnoticed, so that it enhances our lives. Let the energy learning continue.